What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today a brand new hotfix hit Destiny 2 with the weekly reset, but included absolutely nowhere in it was the fact that arguably the best Titan exotic in the entire game was nerfed. Pretty substantially, and so let's get started. But just before we do, if you're in the market for a new PC, check out Apex Gaming PCs. They made my monster PC I use for everything. It's been flawless, and if you use code KAKISHD, you can save up to $250, so click the link in the description down below and check it out. Alright, now, what is the exotic I'm talking about? Well, I'm sure a lot of you probably already guessed it. It is the Loreley Splendor exotic Titan Helm. Now again, there's going to be different arguments for, what is the overall best Titan exotic in the game, but I think you could make a really solid one for both PvE and PvP considered that it is the Loreley Splendor. So what the heck does this exotic do? Well, as you can see right here, it has the intrinsic perk Cauterizing Flame. When you are critically wounded with a full class ability energy, or when you cast a barricade, create a sunspot at your location that has improved restoration effects. So, whenever you use your barricade, you pop a sunspot where you are. And also, if you're critically wounded, as long as you have a barricade charged and ready to go, you also spawn that sunspot. And this exotic is absolutely unbelievable. Like, holy crap, what this exotic does to your survivability blows my mind, right? As a completely mid player, this thing has kept me alive through so many situations where I should die. In fact, let's take a look at a clip I collected before this nerf. So yeah, that's pretty insane, and again, in PvP as well, having your opponent be able to drop a sunspot and heal all the way back up in the matter of seconds was also incredibly good. So what was this nerf? Well, importantly, when you pop these sunspots, you would get restoration ×2, and this would provide a massive degree of healing and again let you overheal through incoming damage like you saw in that clip. But now, guys, as you can see right here, when you pop your sunspot with Loreley Splendor Helm, you're going to get restoration ×1. So they've literally halved the amount of healing that you receive, and this is going to make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. In fact, I'm coming in here in the editing process to tell you guys this isn't just, a random visual glitch. As you can see, it's kind of no longer a stealth nerf. Although it wasn't in the patch notes to begin with, Bungie has now come out and said officially Loreley is getting nerfed to ×1 restoration, and the patch notes will be updated later. And I mean, the big question is now, with this nerf, with this reduction in healing, is the Loreley Splendor Helm worth using? Because especially with solar builds, you have things like the Well of Life mod that's going to provide you with healing restoration whenever you pick up a solar elemental well, which is pretty easy to do. And now actually the healing benefits of Well of Life are pretty comparable to the nerfed Loreley Splendor Helm. So, is the Loreley Splendor worth putting on? Because quite honestly, guys, if you were making a Solar 3.0 Titan build before this nerf, I think it was kind of a no-brainer to just put on the Loreley. Yeah, there was other good exotics out there, but what the Loreley did for your survivability was just so insane. It was just like the answer to everything. So, I mean, with that being said, you could kind of see why they did nerf it if I'm talking like that. But again, is it now time to move on to other options? Because you have stuff like the Phoenix CRADLE exotic legs. That is going to actually let you give your allies the benefits of those sunspots. Because remember, you can easily make sunspots without the Loreley Splendor Helm. Its main purpose is just to give you that instant healing, or not quite instant, but quick healing when you're wounded. And that's really the main benefit. I don't even think, well, certainly for myself, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys, people were necessarily using it super proactive in the sense that they were using their class abilities to get healing. They would just let themselves get critically wounded and the helmet would do it for you. But now that the healing effect is so much less, especially when you consider higher level content like Grandmasters, is that effect even worth it? Like, yeah, you get critically wounded, you drop the sunspot, and you still die, because you're not getting enough healing. And so if that's the case, you may see that meta shift away from the Loreley Splendor and onto other things. For example, getting your abilities back significantly faster. And so there you can consider an exotic like the HALLOWFIRE Heart. This exotic chest armor has the intrinsic perk Sunfire Furnace, which says improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities, just in general, fantastic, but then greatly improves the recharge rate while your super is charged. So I mean, like, what is the easiest way to generate sunspots when you're not using a Loreley Splendor? I mean, it's to get ability kills like grenades and especially your hammer melee. Just run around chucking that thing and collecting it, and you're popping sunspots every single time. So moving to something like the HALLOWFIRE, or perhaps another great option would actually be the Heart of INMOST Light. I mean, this thing is a banger on so many different builds, and it has the perk Overflowing Light, where using an ability will empower the other ones, improving them and increase their recharge. So both of those exotics will again just provide more abilities and create more opportunities to generate sunspots to create your own healing, right? But another option is just to say, screw it, I just won't die, you know, I already have Well of Life, I already have some ways to make those sunspots, I'm gonna use something like the Path of Burning Steps. This exotic leg armor has the Firewalker intrinsic perk, which says solar final blows periodically grant you an escalating bonus to weapon damage. And so this is going to slot really easily into pretty much any Solar 3.0 build, and I mean, your kills just improve your weapon damage. And I mean, what kind of solar weapons are you using? Oh, the Galahorn, the Callus Mini Tool, some of the best weapons in the game right now, especially for PvE, are going to be solar. So getting kills with them is very easy, and a damage increase on them is very good. So it is just such an interesting question. The Loreley Splendor is still doing what you want it to do in the sense of it's healing you. It's just that, again, now is the effect lessened enough that it's time to consider other options in builds. And that's really going to be up to your personal playstyle, and also, again, in what content you're using it in. I think for general purpose content, the Loreley is still cracked. But when we start touching on higher level raids, for example, Grandmasters certainly, I'm not quite sure Restoration ×1 is enough to keep you alive. And if it's not, I don't think the Loreley's effect is enough that you actually want to use it. So I think you will start to see some shifts in builds and loadouts in that higher level content. And certainly you're going to see shifts in PvP as well. I mean, those hunter mains are not going to step off just because you have Restoration ×1. They're going to be gunning for you, blinking towards you at 100 miles an hour, right? You need that Restoration ×2 to get back into the fight immediately. I do think you're going to see a lot less Loreleys being used in the Crucible for sure. But what do you guys think? Are you going to take off your Loreleys, use other things? Do you guys think this nerf was necessary or not? Let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.